So intros are not really my strong suit, so I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. I need to catch up on my TBR very badly because I keep sidetracking it, and I know I'm also busy with work. So I know I keep seeing these videos online, and I know I've wanted to try one of these, but I figured since I have time that I could just jump straight to it. So I'm gonna take you all on a week of reading with me and seeing how much I read realistically during a week, especially when it's something like this where I have to cover on the train. So welcome to a week of my life and catching up on my TBR. This will be fun. So right now it is currently Thursday when I'm filming this. So I think I'll probably wrap this up like next Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when I remember to film. So I'll take you all with me starting today and then tracking how much I read, or if I do read at all. So this will be a very fun experiment for me to show you all how hectic it is during my work weeks, because I do work full time and try to squeeze in reading wherever I can. All right, so the book I'm currently reading right now is, well, I'm technically listening to the audiobook of Black Sheep by Rachel Harrison. This is a religious cult horror novel that came out, I think, like back in like 2023. And I don't want to give away too much of the plot because I feel like it could be a spoiler if I do, but I feel like the spoiler is kind of predictable though. It really is predictable, like once you kind of have a basic understanding of what's going on. And again, I won't spoil it for the sake of this video, but I know I just hit the 78% mark today, and let's see how much I've read of this so far today. Okay, so according to the story graph and my journal entries, I've read about 37 pages, which I can't remember at the top of my head what that would be in hours or minutes for audiobook time, but if we're looking at converting it from hours to audiobook listening to reading a physical book, it's like probably about like 40 pages or so. So I will, during the week, I will kind of do a cap of how many pages I've read on a notes app. So I should probably do that right now for today. Oh wait, anyway, so I know I need to start getting myself ready to go head on the train, because like I said, I've got train duty tonight. So I'll probably listen to this audiobook while I'm there tonight. And I'm also thinking I might start Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, because I know that was on my TBR for this month. So I might just bring that with me in case I need to take a break from reading Black Sheep or listening to Black Sheep. So I'm gonna go get myself ready and packed up and go. Pack what I need for reading, and then I will try my best to catch up with y'all when I return home from the train. So there you have it. Welcome to the video. Alright. Hello again. It's literally almost 11:15 at night. I took a shower when I got home from the train. It was a very good night. But the reason why I wanted to chat with y'all is that I finished Black Sheep tonight, so I was able to pound out the last 2 hours of my audiobook today. I just remembered that on the Storygraph app that they have a whole reading stat section where I could see how many pages I read that day. So oopsie poopsie. So today I read a total of, well, I technically listened to it, but page count wise, I read a total of 101 pages today. So very excited about that. And like I said, I finished Black Sheep tonight. Before I get into my rating about the book, let me kind of loosely explain what it's about. So This follows a young woman named Vesper who grew up in a religious sort of cult, and I don't know how to describe this religious community without giving away too many spoilers, but I will say it does follow somebody that maybe you probably do pick up on as you're reading the book, or you may not 100% pick up on. But either way, Vesper's got to come to reckoning with her family and who she is as a person and the role she's meant to play in her community. I'll leave it at that. I'll start with the positives of this book. I liked how it explored family trauma and cycles of abuse. I thought that the backstory of, or what we did get for the backstory of Vesper's mom, Constance, was very unique because she was a horror icon, a scream queen, if you will, and she had a bunch of memorabilia in the house that she was going to, and Vesper kind of going through her mom's catalog and going through what each of the props meant in the house. I loved that element a lot, and I thought it was a very unique twist. And I liked how she also interacted with those things. And there were a lot of great quotes in the book. Rachel Harrison definitely is very talented when it does come to some insights. However, oh Lord, this is where I start to get a little critical here. It was very predictable at times. Some parts kind of felt repetitive when she was making like a statement and then made a metaphor and then another metaphor, and then it just kind of kept going on, and I was like, okay, can we get to the point instead of saying this thing like 7 different times in different ways? And also there were parts where our main bad person, I'm not going to give it away because of spoilers, but where our main bad was doing a little too much telling and not showing, and was just monologuing on and on and on and on and on. It's like, dude, you gotta get to the point here, you're losing me. So unfortunately, those parts got very repetitive for me to the point where I just kind of got bored. The scares were great. I liked the scares. But I was having a hard time maintaining my interest throughout this book. So for that, I ended up giving this book 3.25 out of 5 stars. So another Rachel Harrison book is officially in my have-read pile. I will continue to read her works because I do think she is a phenomenal author, and there are other books by her that I do want to read. Like, I want to read Such Sharp Teeth and So Thirsty by her. I do want to read those books. So I think I might save those for a later time. But unfortunately, Black Sheep was just kind of a miss. Well, it wasn't a miss. I think this falls into the category of it passed the assignment. Barely. But C's get degrees, if you know what I mean. So yeah, it's getting late. I should be going to bed. Most likely I'm going to head off to bed, but when I wake up in the morning, or hopefully I'm going to try to read a little bit before I get to bed tonight, I'm going to hopefully get started on Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I'll probably talk about it more when I wake up in the morning or when I get home from work. Depends on what happens, but that is going to be my next read. So stay tuned. Good morning, internet, from me and my crazy wild hair from after my shower last night. So, I did end up starting Dark Matter last night, and I did get some pages into it, so I think I read about like 24 pages of this last night. So, adding on to my total from yesterday, so that brought the total from yesterday up to 125 pages. That's bananas. Like I said, I did start Dark Matter last night, and I was able to finish the chapter I was on this morning. Granted, it's only chapter 1, but it still counts. So I read about 6 pages this morning. So what this book is about, that this is following a physics teacher named Jason who's living in Chicago with his family. Yeah, so I think this is kind of going into like he's going into an alternate life where he wasn't a physics teacher but instead became like a much larger scientist in the world, and sort of seeing his parallel life and if he's going to get back to his original life or if he's going to stay in the life that he's in. There's yard work being done outside, so I apologize for the noise. Anyway, so I literally just started into this. I just finished chapter 1. It is wild. I also am reminded of how much I actually do like Blake Crouch's writing, because I got into this author last year with the Wayward Pines series. So I know I've had this one on my radar for a little bit, and I'm very happy that I'm getting into it finally, because again, we're cracking away at our TBR. So I would love to keep going with this right now, but I do need to get going to work. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna hopefully try to squeeze in some more reading when I get home tonight after, because I think I have family dinner tonight. Yeah, I think I have family dinner tonight, so I will do my best to squeeze in some reading when I get home. But until then, happy Friday. Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. I did not do any more reading after yesterday. Yeah, so I only read 6 pages yesterday, which is fine, but yeah, I think that just tells that I am a busy woman. So I actually did get up around like 9 or so this morning, and I did read the next chapter of Dark Matter, so I just finished chapter 2. We're finding out things. I mean, it's still at the very beginning, but crazy things are happening in this book. I don't want to spoil too much, but I will say our lead dude, Jason, is being thrown into a whole bunch of sort of things. That's probably the most descriptive thing I've ever said in my life. Okay, so this is what I've got going on today. So I have a massage at 11 that I need to get out the door for. And then I'm thinking I want to go see Obsession in theaters. I don't know if it's going to happen today, but I think I definitely want to see it at some point this upcoming week, because it just looks so interesting and creepy. So very much looking forward to that. And then I'm probably going to come back here and just chill out for the rest of the night, do some reading, obviously. So we'll do that together, but in the meantime, I need to pack up and get out the door. Hi everybody! I know it is very super late at night on a Sunday, but we have not chatted in a little bit, so let us get ourselves caught up. I am sweaty, oh my lord. So I did not catch you all up on yesterday, so I had a great massage. It was a very fun time. My mistress and I got talking about comic books and Mega Man and all writing things, so that was a really fun session. And then, oh my god, and then I went to the movies. I saw Obsession in theaters. That's all I'm going to comment on that. Yeah, holy crap. That movie was so bonkers. The cast did a great job. Curry Barker, I did not know you had that in you, and I'm thoroughly impressed. And I get why this movie was also almost rated NC-17. Because what in the Terrifier was going on towards the end. Yeah, so that movie was bananas. Had a great time with that. And then I spent some time over at my folks' place just chilling out by the poolside and doing all that. And then I actually came back over to their place this afternoon to help with some furniture, and we were also catching up on the Pitt. Well, they're already caught up on the Pitt. I just started watching the show, like, I think within the past couple months. I'm almost at the end of season 1 right now. Also get why everybody hypes up that show. It is that good. But most importantly, I did catch up on my reading for Dark Matter. I actually did get a lot done today. But first off, yesterday, I'm sweaty. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yesterday was the 16th, so I read about 53 pages yesterday, so I didn't get a whole lot in, but I at least tried to get enough in. And then today, I actually got in 69 pages, so I'm probably like on page 150 right now of Dark Matter. I'm almost at the halfway point right now. There's a lot going on. Oh my gosh, things are getting hectic. There's a lot of sciencey terms that I know I'm trying to keep up with because I don't really know a whole lot about quantum physics and the multiverse. I know I'm like trying to wrap my brain around like what I've learned from the Marvel Universe. So it's been very interesting to read. Again, I know I'm kind of getting lost in the more scientific terms of it all, but it has been getting very good. Blake Crutch does a phenomenal job of keeping up with suspense and his works. And it moved very quickly. So I do give him credit for that. So since tomorrow obviously is Monday, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to read. So I will do my best to try to provide an update when I can. I'll probably try to get up a little early so that way I can squeeze in some reading before I head off to the office. I'll do the very best I can to provide an update when I can. It will most likely probably be when I get off work tomorrow that I'll try to chit chat with y'all. And then I know I need to get some chores done around here too because I was supposed to do that today, but it obviously did not end up happening. But that's where I'm at. I'm gonna wind down for the night and probably try to squeeze in a couple more pages before I go off to bed. At least just try to finish the chapter I'm on. And I will catch up with y'all tomorrow. Okay, everyone, we are now on Monday evening. So I just finished having dinner probably a half hour ago. I took a shower just to freshen up. But what I'm thinking of doing is that I'm going to probably upload some of this footage onto my computer so I can start hopefully editing that tomorrow night. I want to have free time later in the week, but I was going to spend the rest of my evening reading more of Dark Matter because I got to read a little bit during breakfast this morning before I left for work. So I know I've had a long day and I know I've had a lot going on with work, so I will probably just do my best to take it easy and chill for the rest of the night and, like I said, just try to pound out as much as I can because I would like to try to finish this book by this video. So fingers crossed we can achieve that. I'm gonna go get cozy and then find something to put on for light music in the background and we'll go forward from there. I just want to keep my camera set up as it was because I didn't want to move it. So last night I got page 216 in Dark Matter. I don't remember how much I read yesterday, so I will let post-production me figure out the math of that and split the numbers here. So this book, I don't know, it feels like an episode of Loki. I don't know how else to describe it. It kind of just feels like an episode of Loki where we're hopping around doing things. And that's the plot. I do have good faith in Blake Crouch, so I am curious to see how is this all going to come together and end. I think I've just kind of hit a plateau with this book. But I am committed to it and I want to keep going with this. So I'm going to do my very best to squeeze in some reading before I go off to work this morning. But that's all I've got. We're on our last day. Oh my gosh. I meant to film an update last night, but my camera ran out of battery, so I needed to charge it, and then I was doing work from home because I've got train duty for the next 2 days, so I need to jump on tonight and tomorrow. But I am going to plan to bring Dark Matter with me, so again, I need to have post-editing me put down the number here. Again, I think I'm just losing steam with this book. It is still very well written, but I feel like it's just kind of getting a little repetitive right now, and I kind of need some action to happen. But my goal is to try to get as much of it done as I can tonight. But I know it's going to be a little busy for me with acting and all that. So I'm going to do the very best I can to track my reading and make sure that I've hit somewhat of a goal. But I'm going to start getting myself ready now for the train. And then I'll do my best to keep y'all updated when it comes time for me to provide an update on my reading. Well, folks, the video started in this room, and it will end in this room. So I did not end up finishing this book last night. I got pretty close to the end, though. I'm like at page 290 of Dark Matter, so I think I probably have about like 50 or so pages left, which I know goes beyond the timeline that I set myself for this video, but I can at least finish the book today and then get working on editing this video. But I will say, okay, how much I read during the past 7 days. We technically started this challenge on the 14th. I got y'all through the last couple hours of my audiobook for Black Sheep and starting Dark Matter, so that got us to 125 pages for Thursday the 14th. Friday the 15th, we only read 6 pages because I think I was just busy doing family stuff. On the 16th, we ended up reading 53 pages of Dark Matter. And then on the 17th, it was 69. The 18th, it was 64. And then the 19th was 18. And then yesterday on the 20th, we read 56 pages. Okay, so I need to do a little mental math to figure out the final total of pages that I've read for the week. So when I do that, I will have post-editing me put this information here. Yeah, so I think this is a good way to keep myself accountable during a busy week and to try to squeeze in more reading for my physical TBR. So while I'm bummed out I didn't finish a full book in this video, well, I technically finished a book but I don't want to wholly try to finish another book. It did not happen, but I am very proud of the fact that I was able to get 85% through Dark Matter, and that I could tick off another book from my TBR. So I'm very, very, very grateful for that. So on that bright note, I need to get some coffee in my system because it's still very early and I'm not awake, as you can clearly tell. And I'm gonna finish this book. So thank you all for watching, and do YouTube things that you normally know how to do, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!